Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money channel. My God, I thought maybe social sentiment had increased since last month, but it's even lower than before. Guys, Bitcoin sentiment has gone down, clearly because Bitcoin price has gone down. But if we take a look at this a little closer, you'll notice it's not actually as bad as people are making it out to be. I'm going to look over some of the metrics in a second, but first, as per Colin Talks Crypto, this is as low or lower sentiment than bear market bottoms. So what this chart is showing is Bitcoin social media sentiment as low as it gets. So boom, we have actually seen lower sentiment now for Bitcoin than we did in the bear market back in 2022. Look at that. Sentiment for Bitcoin was nowhere near these bottoms back in 2022. And yet, when we take a look at Bitcoin price is actually only about 8% off its all-time high. Okay, we have not corrected significant amounts, but unfortunately, this is how people feel. It means that the market hasn't topped yet. There has been no euphoria forming a proper sentiment top. And as you guys can see here, fear and greed is at 45. Now, you would think that this would be at 19, 18, 17, somewhere along there. But this is, I guess they measure this in a different way. Altcoin season still staying put. Market cap is only down by a little bit. So we're down about 1.64%. Guys, we're not actually down all that much. Rob Art commenting pretty much just watching Ethereum. So he's taking a look at Ethereum to see when some of these altcoins are going to pop. He says he wants some of these coins to pump well, while others do absolutely nothing, commonly referred to as alt season. Then Ethereum must break resistance and start climbing to several consecutive new all-time highs. Guys, that is Rob Art's strategy. Take a look at Ethereum here. I'm going to bring it up on the chart. And Ethereum is retracing from its all-time high here. Let me throw that on the weekly. Pretty much almost getting up to its all-time high up here. You guys can see the all-time high for Ethereum was back in late 2021, and that reached about 4,800 per one Ethereum token. This is on the weekly chart, by the way, and we got very, very close, guys, back a couple of weeks ago. So the week of August the 11th, we did get up to a high of almost 4,800. It was 4,792, and now one Ethereum is going for about 4,234. This is usually a really good indicator of when we're going to see altcoins rally, so I'm going to keep that in mind as well. Only a few people seem to realize this coming from Nick Crypto Crusader. The prices of most of this market are just hovering around prices from the beginning of the month. So, guys, that's the other thing we should consider. From the beginning of the month, let's bring up Bitcoin one more time, and let's throw this on the daily. And if you can believe it, we are retracing back into this level of support from back on August the 2nd, August the 3rd of 2025. So, again, nothing to worry about, really. People tend to get their knickers in a knot for no reason. For me, I'm treating this market in a realistic manner. I'm taking a look at a broader perspective. I'm taking a look at the micro trends too. And if you guys are interested in picking my brain, patreon.com/workingmoneychannel, probably going to be putting out another update today, a quick update to my Patreon subscribers, a market update, because I know we're getting close. And I know a lot of you guys probably want to hear about price targets. So those are coming too. We have to time this market right. And I have rolled back prices for the Patreon. So it is now rolled back to $5 a month, but you got to subscribe and stay subscribed to lock into that price point. There's still a lot to discuss. These lows really aren't anything to worry too much about. The sentiment in this space currently is so negative that even though Bitcoin is up 90% and XRP is up 400% in the last 12 months, we are seeing, as Nick is saying, we are seeing this same kind of sentiment here. So what the heck, okay? I think a lot of it, though, is just inexperienced traders not understanding market cycles. The market bottomed in April, and now we are just seeing a correction, which will lead to consolidation and an expansion to the upside. Higher is coming, but most will be shaken out before we get there. Credible is 100% on point here. The largest moves of the cycle have yet to be hit, but most will not experience it. And so he was retweeting out Credible Crypto's tweet here, just speaking to the same. You're not early per se, but the biggest moves of any cycle happen in the last 10% of it, not in the first 90% of it. So I hope people don't bail beforehand. Wanted to thank Nick Crypto Crusader, Rob Art, and Colin Talks Crypto for posting those. A Morgan Stanley CEO has even said that the bull run is just beginning. This clip is about 2.5 minutes, but I'm going to play it halfway through just to give you guys a sense of what the major banks are saying. Listen to this.
So you believe we started a new bull market back in April. Why?
Because we had a bear market. And I think that's the thing that people don't really acknowledge, which is that, the sell-off in April was really a final capitulation to a bear market that began last summer. if you actually look at most stocks, they topped in July of 2024. They were down anywhere between 30 and 35% on average. I mean, that's a proper bear market that ended with a capitulatory price action. So whenever you get that type of price action, you have some demarcation between the bull market and the bear market. That was it. It was the capitulation. So, most bull markets don't last 4 months. They last, years, year or two at a minimum. So I think right now we're in buy the dip mode because we're in that bull market mentality. And the question now, and I think you were alluding to it earlier, is like, what should I own? And I think, we're probably getting to the stage of this bull market where you can probably see some broadening out. Maybe that's one of the reasons why we're seeing the Mag 7 start to maybe underperform a bit now. And that's really going to be contingent, in my view, on when the Fed starts actually cutting interest rates. I don't know if they're going to do it in September or not. But once they start actually doing that, that's when you'll probably see the bull market really broaden out.
And I think that is a quintessential point. The Fed cutting those rates is really what's going to pump more money into the crypto market, but also risk-on assets too. As Reuters does point out here, Goldman Sachs sees the Fed cutting rates thrice in 2025, 2 times more in 2026. So apparently, this is even what Goldman Sachs is predicting on Wednesday. In a research note, it expects the U.S. Federal Reserve to deliver 3 25 basis point rate cuts this year and 2 more in 2026. This would put the terminal rate between 3 and 3.25%, down from the current 4.25 to 4.5% level. The Goldman note followed data on Tuesday showing U.S. customer prices increasing marginally in July, rising about 0.2% last month after a gain of 0.3% in June, in line with economists' expectations. And so they're saying, okay, be prepared. We will see, or they're predicting, there's a very good likelihood that we will see interest rates being cut 3 more times. And guys, it's already the end of August, so another indication that the bull run is going to continue. Credible Crypto also with this, guys. We've swept the lows that I was looking at to sweep for the XRP to Bitcoin chart pairing. Take a look at this. XRP to BTC chart, and now these lows have been swept. So generally what we see when we see XRP dominance go up against Bitcoin, what we see here is something like this. So this is the pump from right after the election when we really saw XRP come into its own. And then we've just been kind of vacillating here. I mean, as all cryptos have been basically doing their thing. And guys, at this point, we're just sweeping those lows. So we're pretty much still just in accumulation mode for XRP and some other cryptos. He gives some more detail here. Ultimately, what he's saying is hitting support, boom, boom, guys, we're hitting it again. So hopefully now we're going to see this next corrective move to the upside. And another thing I wanted to just mention from Rect Capital, because I thought this was the most interesting metric for today. One of the most positive things about the current pullback is that this same type of retrace took place at the same moment in the cycle in both 2017 and 2021. So those were notoriously bullish years. Those were, the blow off top years for cryptocurrency. And what he is saying, guys, just going to bring up the Bitcoin chart again. What he is saying is back in 2021 and in 2017, around the exact same time. Okay, and by the exact same time, what I mean here is late August, early September. So this would be in and around September the 7th, okay, give or take. Boom, we corrected, we corrected 25% roughly. And then it only took another, boom, about 50 days, so just shy of 2 months to get up to a new all-time high. Okay, now let's take a look at 2017. And 2017, we were in and around here, and this would be the beginning of September. So same time period here. This correction, though, was much larger. It was 40%. And how long did it take to get back up? From here, it took about 3 months, so a bit longer to get up to all-time highs, but we could say that we did peak several times after that. Of course, the 2017 bull run looked different than 2021, but guys, I think this is critical, okay? Late August, early September, we have seen big corrections for crypto, and you know what, guys? I think we are just going to see the same thing here. If I'm going to be honest, we could even continue to cascade further down, so let's be prepared for this. We're only at 9%. I don't think we're going to see 25, 30, 40%. I think, though it is possible for us to go down maybe 15 or 20, maybe at the most. 21 would bring us down to this level of support down here. We're wicking down there, and even if we don't make the wicks, 19% brings us to the bottom of the body. So, if we do see Bitcoin back at $100,000 or $101,000 per coin, will you be surprised? Will you be upset? Put it down in the comments. Anyway, I wanted to thank Credible Crypto and Altcoin Daily for posting that. Oh yeah, and Rect Capital as well. Now, Eleanor Turek guy's posting this. A new update from Bo Hines. He lands at Tether as strategic advisor amid U.S. expansion. So this is new. Bo Hines didn't stay on the sidelines for long. Just over a week after stepping down as executive director at the White House, he joined Tether as a strategic advisor for digital assets and U.S. strategy. Bo Hines is only 29 years old, and he's a key architect of the administration's crypto initiatives, including the Genius Act, the first federal stablecoin framework, and he's taking on a role at the world's largest stablecoin issuer at a defining moment in its long-awaited push into the American market. The expansion comes despite years of resistance in Washington, where regulators and lawmakers have long questioned Tether's transparency and the backing of its USDT reserves. In a blog post on Tuesday, Tether CEO Paulo Ardoino called Hines an invaluable asset to a once-in-a-century company. What I find interesting about this is that Tether has been criticized beyond belief. And, Paulo Ardoino has come out and said, you know what, we're going to create a U.S. stablecoin, or a stablecoin that is basically the USDT, but that is fully compliant. We're going to just create one from scratch that we can use in the United States, because clearly Tether is not fully compliant. And it looks as though Bo Hines believes them enough to join their team. Now, another interesting observation here from Cowboy Crypto, Secretary of Commerce Howard Lutnick, also on Trump's team, stepped down as CEO of Cantor Fitzgerald, who houses Tether's $134 billion reserves, mainly in U.S. Treasury bills. And his son, Brandon Lutnick, took over as CEO and chairman, and his other son, Kyle, is now executive chairman. Now, Bo Hines leaves his executive director of digital assets role and goes to Tether. Isn't that interesting? So some more information here with regards to Cantor Fitzgerald and the Lutnick family. Things that make you go, These guys are making moves quickly, and they probably know more than us. I mean, they know how close we are to full-fledged adoption. Watcher Guru even tweeted this out, and Anders retweeting it. He says, translation to protect the market against Gensler 2.0. Basically, the SEC's chair, Paul Atkins, is going to create a framework to future-proof the crypto markets against regulatory mischief. So he's saying no more. Even if another administration comes in, they cannot change the rules. U.S. Security and Exchange Commission Chair Paul Atkins has reiterated his friendlier approach towards cryptocurrency compared to the previous administration, saying there are very few tokens that are securities. During a Tuesday appearance at the Wyoming Blockchain Symposium, Atkins said that the SEC would plow forward on this idea, that just the token itself is not necessarily the security. Probably not. There are a very few, in my mind, tokens that are securities, but it all depends on what's the package around it and how it's being sold. Atkins's remark followed the SEC's launch of Project Crypto last month, an initiative the chair characterizes as designed to modernize securities laws and help American financial markets to move on-chain. Such efforts represent a contrast to former SEC Chair Gary Gensler's view that the majority of crypto assets were securities. It is a new day, especially for the crypto industry, said Paul Atkins on Tuesday. We are about innovation. Now we want to embrace said innovation. So I am really happy they are saying that. I'm really happy that, for example, XRP already has a clear runway, and even if it didn't, Paul Atkins, now at the helm, is bringing more, I think, more confidence to the crypto space. What he's doing is he's giving a lot of these cryptocurrencies a runway to continue running once we do see that next euphoric push to the upside. This is the XRP chart, by the way, on the daily, and even for you XRP holders, I know we're under $3 per coin. We're basing in this level here, which is interesting because it's coming up. It's trying to butt up against former support. So now we're forming resistance here. Even if we do go back down, guys, to $2.72, we're still doing okay, to be honest. These are only values that we saw back in early August, similar to Bitcoin. So even if XRP follows the Bitcoin trajectory and we do see these levels again, these are just levels that we saw back in early August. So if XRP tests support again, and maybe it takes a few weeks before we start pumping to the upside, that would be completely normal from a technical perspective. Again, for more information on more insight on where I think the market's going to go, you can follow me, patreon.com/workingmoneychannel for more detail on that. Going to be putting out another update today. But the biggest reason I think we're in a good spot in terms of the tech and the progress is this. Okay, soon you won't even know what a private key is. Right now, we are in a crypto space. We are in a cryptocurrency trading situation where we have had to learn a lot, right? The learning curve was quite a bit, I'm sure, for a lot of you guys. To be able to onboard your crypto onto the exchange, or onboard, your fiat onto the exchange, and figure out how to trade your cryptocurrency. And then maybe some of you guys are keeping your crypto in a secure cold wallet storage solution, which, by the way, I think you should be doing. I do have an affiliate link. I'm just going to mention it. I do have an affiliate link in the description. I personally use the Ledger Nano, which I love. I've never had a problem with them. So just as a sidebar, guys, if you want to keep your crypto safe, make sure you have your own keys. Make sure you store your own crypto. You can use my affiliate if you want. You do not have to use it. I'm not saying it for that reason. Of course, every little bit helps, and it would be supporting the channel, and I'd be very grateful for that. The point I'm trying to make, though, is that the learning curve has been so big, and the truth is mass crypto adoption will come when institutions can custody crypto, so that's one point. But guys, eventually we won't even think about it, okay? We won't even know. I mean, we will know because we've been in this space for a long time, but the average Joe, the average person, they won't know, and it won't feel like you're dealing with crypto or blockchain or DLT tech. Listen to David Schwartz in this Decrypt interview from earlier this month.
I think also just better user experiences. We're really, if people are going to be able to use a blockchain, they're not going to have to, they're going to have to not, it's going to have to be the case where you can use a blockchain without having to know what a private key is, or without having to know what a blockchain is. It's just going to have to just work. And I think we're really close. I think we're just a couple of months away from turning some of those corners to true mass adoption, providing the financial services that ordinary people around the world need. And that's why we've been doing this.
What was that, David? How long?
I think we're really close. I think we're just a couple of months away from turning some of those corners.
So only a couple of months away. Now, this interview was from early August. It is now August the 20th, if you guys are watching this video on the day that I'm releasing it. So guys, a couple of months, that would essentially bring us a couple of months, let's call it from early August. That would essentially bring us, boom, 60 days. Early October, of course, so we still do have to wait. I'm sure there still will be some sloshing around before we see price discovery. I'm okay with that. I'm set. My bags are packed, and I'm formulating a strategy based on this organically moving market. For more information on what that strategy is, again, you can follow me at patreon.com/workingmoneychannel. I also just want to mention that the Working Money Channel merch store is up and running. I'm still offering 15% off until the end of the month. The link is in the description of the video. That's just my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.